everybody, and welcome back to Mel's Board Game Room. So recently I had a Kickstarter arrive that I kind of had almost forgotten a little bit about it, and that is Masters of Maple Syrup and Downstream. So I'm really excited about it. When this kickstarted, I was in Banff, which is like one of the most beautiful places in Canada, and I was feeling very patriotic, and I saw this Kickstarter and I was like, yeah, I am in. So they have arrived. I have got to play them, and today I'm going to show you how to play specifically Masters of Maple Syrup. We actually finished playing this one, me and Lee, yesterday, so it's all fresh in my mind. So let me switch camera real quick here so that you can have a better view. All right, here we go. So I'll put this one aside here for now. Now, Master of Maple Syrup is a game about running a sugar shack. Now, I grew up in the area where I grew up, Eastern Canada. So I'm from the province of New Brunswick, and there was a lot of those around. Now, I grew up in a French area, so we called them les cabanes à sucre. And what basically they are, in case you're not from the area and you don't know, but they have kind of a little cabin in the middle of the woods, like surrounded by trees. And in the springtime, I think it's spring, there's snow, when there's still snow anyways, you can go there and so the trees that are around are maple trees, and they would tap the trees to get the sap, I guess, or the maple syrup liquid out of it, and they boil it until it becomes like a thick syrup, and they pour it on top of snow, and you take a wooden stick and you twirl them, and then you would kind of eat that and kind of as a candy. It was delicious. It was a lot of fun. And that was just like the public side of it, right? But that's where the maple syrup comes from. That's where they've developed all the maple product. So this is a game about running a sugar shack. And actually, I'm impressed with this one. I was quite pleased. We had a ton of fun with it, but I'll just kind of quickly show you how it works. This part here is my favorite part of the game. So you're going to set the action that are available over here. Now, this is a two-player game, so you'll only be playing two players, and one person's playing on this side, the other person's playing on this side. Everybody starts with a treat to start with. Let me show you. So we would start with, is it a red maple? I'm going to say red maple. So we all start with a red maple. So you have the cost on the top corner here. It has like the special abilities. So when harvested, you get to draw a card, and at the end of the game, it's worth 1 point, but if the maple tree is tapped, it's worth an extra point. So everybody starts with one of those, so the other player would also get one. And I'm going to find one here. Perfect. So they also start with one. Then you have your cards. You start with 3 cards, and this gets shuffled. So 3 cards, and this is the draw deck there. First thing I want to point out, I love the artwork. There are like, you could buy maple syrup in a can, like a tin can, and this was like the artwork on that maple syrup can. So it's very, very thematic. This just kind of shows what all the cards that are in the game, what they are. And then this is just basically more information about maple syrup. No, about the game maple syrup, not maple syrup itself. So there we go. So I have my 3 cards here, and those are the different things that I can do. So, well, the cards I have, but these are the different things that I can do. And what's interesting with that is I could tap a tree. Now it makes sense to tap a tree. So if I spin it this way, I'm doing this action, the other player is doing the other action. Now, this way means I could tap up to 2 trees. The other player can only tap 1. Sorry, I'm kind of not, well, tap 1. Now, at this point, it doesn't really matter since we only have 1 tree, but let's say I'm tapping a tree. So my tree is tapped. they get to tap theirs as well. You put it sideways just to show that you've tapped your tree. Then it's the other player's turn, and they could decide what they want to do. Now, if they develop, and they do the main action develop, that means you can put a card into play, and you would get a discount for doing the development action. You get a 1 cent discount. So that would be nice. The ones I have in my hand here are all utilities, and you can have utilities or you could have trees. Utilities kind of gives you an ability or one-time action that you can do, and then the trees is what you're going to use to generate your syrup, which is also how you're going to draw extra cards. So he could harvest or he could play a card. And let's see what he has for cards anyways. So he has another tree, which would be good. So let's say he decides he wants to do that. So he's going to develop. And he's developing a second maple tree. At a discount of a penny, but this one only cost a penny. So he would go ahead and play that. And I'm saying he because it's imaginarily on the other side here. And then it's my turn, and I only have one action left to do. And I'm going to harvest. I get to harvest two trees, but I only have one. He could do one, just the one, but he only has one that's tapped. So that goes up. I draw a card, and then this one goes, and he also draws a card. You have a maximum hand of 5, so I'm still good to go. Oh, and I got a tree as well. So now it's my turn. All the actions are tapped, so they all get reset, and then I get to decide what I want to do. I too would like to develop and get a second red maple for free. So he can develop as well now. And I didn't even look at what they had. Oh, he has a black maple. Now, the black maple cost 3 coins. And up to now, we've had discounts, so everything was free. It's not free now. So if he wants to play the black maple, he needs to pay the cost of 3. So he would need to discard 3 cards. And he doesn't have enough cards to do that. He could do clear land. So instead of developing, you may discard this card from your property to develop a utility for free. So you would have to discard a card though. What else does he have? At the start of your turn, you may discard 1 card from your hand to reset all action cards. That's pretty good ability. Much better than this one, and I don't think he wants to give these ones up for that. So he's just going to pass on the develop. And then it's his turn. So he's going to tap a tree because he can't harvest. They're not tapped yet. And now I only get to tap 1, which is too bad since I have 2 trees now. But it's my turn. I'm going to harvest 2 trees. I can't. I only have 1, but that means he can't harvest both of his. So I'm going to harvest this one, draw a card. He can only harvest 1, and then he only draws 1 card. So there's a lot of like, take that element where you're trying to kind of get the best action for yourself and trying to get them not to develop as much. So it's his turn. He gets to reset all the action. I've got another silver tree here. That's going to be nice. What did he get? He also get a tree. He got the sugar maple tree. Now, what's nice with this one is when you first put it down, you get to tap it. And then when you harvest, you get 2 cards out of this one. So let's say that he wants to plant this one at the cost of the other one. So he's going to do a develop. 1 coin discount. So he can discard these 3 to plant the maple tree. And it gets planted tapped. So that's nice. So I get to plant something as well. I'm pretty excited about that also. I kind of want to get the silver tree. I'm going to give this one up here, this Forest Tour. So this utility gives me, it's worth 1 point for every different type of trees that I have in my, on my area here. So far, I have only 2 that are the same. So I'm going to kind of not worry about that. Spend that one. But I need to spend 2. So what else do I want to get? I'm going to give up the cauldron. I'll give up the cauldron. Okay, and now I have 3 trees. Now that was his action, so it's my turn. So I'm going to tap 2 trees. This one comes tapped. So that's nice. Then I can just tap these two. So all my trees are tapped. He gets to tap one. He only has one that's untapped, so then that works for him as well. And then it's his turn, and he's going to go ahead and do the harvest for him to get 2. So he's going to do this one, which is going to give him 2 and 3. So he gets 3 cards, which is good because he was down to 0. I'm down to 1. I can only harvest from 1. And all of mine only harvest 1 card, unfortunately. So I'm going to take the 1 card. Now, this one is kind of nice. The hand drill makes it so that when I'm tapping a tree, I may tap an extra tree for free. So that would be handy, mostly if I'm getting like the lesser action here. But this all gets, and what I really want to do, I don't have a lot of cards. I really want to harvest. So I'm going to harvest 2 and get 2 more cards. Because I really would like to prefer to get more trees. And of course, I didn't draw any trees. And then he has to harvest 1, or can harvest 1, and he's going to harvest this one and get a card for this. And yeah, so as I mentioned, you get a bunch of utilities or trees that are going to come up. The game ends when one person plays their 10th card on their side, and that ends the round of the game. Then you're going to tally all the points. So each trees are worth points, but then if they're tapped, it's worth extra points. Some of the cards are worth points all on their own. Some of them have kind of end game condition that's going to count you different points as well. So depending on what you got going on, how many points those would be worth. You have like this one. This one allows you to store extra cards underneath this one, and it would count for extra points. So it's good to get early on in the game. So that's the gist of how Masters of Maple Syrup plays. Actually, we had a ton of fun about it with this one yesterday. I really like the action selection and kind of trying to get the bigger action for yourself, but you're never stuck doing nothing. Now, one thing that's really cool with this as well is you can play this game completely differently. So this one, if you play it on this side, is one side will tap 2 trees while the other person harvests 2 trees. Then one can develop a tree or one can develop a utility. And then one can choose one to either tap a tree, harvest a tree, or develop a tree at full cost. But then the other side gets no action at all. I haven't played with this side. I think it would, because with this one, what he does, I can always do just at a lesser action. This one, whatever he does, I may not get to do. I have to do something different that may or may not match what I'm trying to do. And I think this side would get more cutthroat, maybe more, kind of definitely have a bit more strategy to it, like trying to get what you need to get. But that was the game Master of Maple Syrup. Very patriotic, and like this game just screamed Canadian game. So I really like that about it. I hope you get a chance to give it a try. If you do, let me know what you think. I'll just change the. So yeah, so that was that game. I'll do another video to show you how to play Downstream as well, so be sure to check that one out. But thanks so much for tuning in. So if you want to follow me, here are my information. Bye, everybody.